Okay, here's another video that was sent by someone, me, for us to take a look at. This was done by the Harris Poll. One thing I want to highlight, they're a solid polling company. So let's do it.
All right, Sandra, as anti-Semitism spreads on these college campuses, a new Harvard-Harris poll reveals how little Gen Z actually knows about the conflict in the Middle East. Let's bring in Mark Penn, co-founder of the Harvard-Harris poll. He's also the CEO of Stagwell and a former advisor to the Clintons. I thought this was stunning. Mark, reading through this poll, let me just put up on the screen for folks at home to see some of the data. This was among 18 to 24-year-olds. Do you support Israel? 50%. Do you support Hamas? 50%. Was the October 7th attack justified? Yes, 60%. Is it okay for students to call?
All right. I could go for hours on this, so I'm just going to keep my comments somewhat brief. 50% of the people support Hamas in this country between the ages of 18 to 24. 10% in Gaza, the Palestinians, would be their percentage, and we're at 50%. October 7th attack was justified. Are you fucking kidding me? 60%?
52% okay for students to call for the genocide of Jews? Like,
look at
that's
this
more
thing.
than support for Israel. That's scary.
Where on earth are these people getting this indoctrination from? I mean, 50% support Hamas. Come on. The October 7th. So 18 to 24-year-olds in the United States of America, our country, thought the attack was justified on October 7th. That's just disgusting. It's disgusting. Where are they learning this shit?
Call for genocide of Jews. 53% said yes. 31%.
53% call for the genocide of Jews. 53. Are you?
Yeah, no. That. I know I've said this before, but not to be controversial, I think genociding Jews is a bad call.
I can't think of, outside of some terrorist groups, I can't think of who I would vote for fucking genocide. I don't even know if I'd even do terrorists. I mean,
Quick thing just to show, 50% on the support for Hamas and Israel. That's what was hiding behind the footage.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't know what to say to that. 53% call for the genocide of Jews.
I don't get it.
Said Israel has no right to exist. 44% said Israel is not a democracy. 41% said Hamas.
Just to let you know, because obviously these fucking idiots didn't do any research. Look on the democracy of Israel. Israel is probably the closest country we have to a full democracy. Imagine the United States having 30 parties as they do in Israel. Here we only have 2, and it's democracy. Israel's not a democracy. What the fuck is it? I mean, it's clearly a democracy. I don't know.
Hamas rules democratically and is not authoritarian.
Oh, gosh. Hamas rules democratically, not authoritarian. 41% said agree with that.
It's such a beauty on what a simple Google search could do to make people feel less dumb. And I'll stick to that.
That's well put.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, before he says it, just in case this particular thing runs out, Hamas lets gay people live together openly. 45% said that.
Yeah, I've heard a very popular phrase that go to Gaza if you're gay because they'll give you free flying lessons off a 20-story building.
It's if just so you idiots understand this, if you are in Gaza under Hamas's rule, if you are found to be gay, it is an automatic 10-year jail sentence. Forget about the murders and all the stuff they do in general with homosexuals over there. But it's an automatic 10-year sentence. Are you fucking kidding me? 45% thinks that Hamas lets gay people live together openly. This is Seth, these numbers are just absolutely shocking to me. Shocking to me. And 10, 20, 30 years from now, these are the people that are going to be running our government. And where are they learning this from? I don't know. I'm frustrated with this.
Aryan, and 45% of people said that Hamas lets gay people live together openly. And my question, after watching that, is what are our young people learning these days?
Well, no wonder you're seeing these demonstrations by young people because
no doubt.
they have been taught that Hamas is the democracy, Hamas is the tolerant society, and not Israel, and that.
I really almost want to say that Gen Z isn't being taught this, but they want us to always stand up for a cause. Gen Z loves a good cause. They love rooting for an underdog, even if they aren't one. Take any, like in the last 10 years, we have fought for tooth and nail over anything that is pointless, anything that is unnecessary because you want to feel like you're a part of the victimhood.
Well,
I mean, I do feel like there is misinformation, especially with gay people living openly in Hamas. No. Like, the Middle East is one of the most homophobic areas, with Israel being the one glowing exception.
by far, and if you do any little research on this, you'll notice that if someone is found gay in Gaza or the West Bank, guess where they immediately go to? Israel. I mean, and 53% calls for the genocide of Jews. I mean, oh gosh.
In fact, in new polling we have coming out today, 18 to 24, 2/3 believe that Jews are an oppressor race. And so it's really incredible, and you contrast it to either the rest of the country, or particularly 65 plus, who are with Israel 95-5, and don't believe any of the things that college students.
They're going to be gone.
We have a huge Gen Z divide here. People outside of Gen Z have
Let people be open with their opinions. Let it bite them in the ass,
24,
unfortunately.
you are in a completely different environment, clearly generated and connected to social media, and far removed from what everybody else in the United States believes.
Yeah, I mean, the disconnect is just incredible over the age demographics. You wrote this along with Andrew Stein in the New York Post in an op-ed. You said, quote, "Kids were never perfect and have often been rebellious, but young people have also never been this far removed from reality, affected by social media and political currents that have sold them pure propaganda."
Yeah, no, because I completely agree with that. Back in times, the Ku Klux Klan, we weren't seeing people doing rallies in like high schools, colleges maybe, and openly, yes, but college students and high schoolers that are this dead set on free Palestine and anti-Semitic hatred.
It's shocking to me, but the social media obviously plays a major part to that.
And I'm speaking purely like from an American standpoint. I don't know if other countries have. Well, obviously, different countries have different things that happen. But as far as just pure hate towards this example, I can't think of anything like pre-50s.
Well, the thing is, I've never like really had to face to face with someone with anti-Semitism. I just did, it's just not the way I grew up. Where I grew up, I mean, obviously played a part, and I just never really saw it. Now, after on October 8th. Holy shit, they came out of the fucking woodwork in this country. And no one knew about all this? Like, there was no warning that, 53% call for the genocide of Jews? What? I mean, where are they? Oh gosh. It's got to be social media, I understand that, but
Well, it's like we canceled Kanye because of anti-Semitic comments. But now if he did it, people would have loved it. And it's...
I just
what
don't,
a flip-flop. We've
right?
gone from Kanye apologizing in Hebrew to kids being anti-Semitic and agreeing with nearly pro-Nazi opinions at this point.
I was a very young lad in the rebellious 1960s, but the climate then was completely different in terms of the flow of information from what it is now.
Well, look, I think those protests in the 60s, and I point out that all those people who support Israel 95-5 during their day were participants in a lot of protests in colleges, and so people do mature over time. But I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen support for a terrorist group. I've never seen such upside down attitudes, because none of these kids have been to Israel, really have a thorough understanding, and they only know what they've been told. They're far removed from the 1948 resolution, approved by over 2/3 of the world, creating Israel in the first place. They have no historical sense. Incredible.
It really is quite incredible.
That's a good point. I'm trying to think at any time that Americans supported a terrorist organization. I can't.
I mean, no, we've been pretty adamant about anti-Taliban, anti-ISIS.
Obviously, yeah.
I can't think of any times that we've been.
Black September in Munich.
Even people that were in disagreement with everything that happened after 9/11, I don't think anyone was supportive of the Taliban.
No. I'm just trying to think over the years. Maybe, like I said, maybe Black September in the 70s. I mean, the answer to that is no, because we're brought up not to fucking, cheer for terrorists, for people that want to kill other people. They took, on October 7th, Hamas took 1,200 innocent people, okay? And they've killed, they killed 1,200, sorry, they took 200 hostages. Now, we're 100 plus days out. Guess what? Israel, unfortunately, is having to bomb places where there are hostages at, and they could be killing them. And nobody is saying, Hamas, you motherfuckers, why don't you let them go? You've had them for 100 days, just let them go. Why haven't they let them go? Because they want them dead. Hamas doesn't give two shits about the 53% who want the genocide of Israel. They don't give two shits. You walk into those countries and you don't go under the laws, you're dead, okay? Or you're in prison for whatever amount of time. I just think I can't think of one time where U.S. citizens supported a terrorist group. How fucking disgusting is that?
Incredible. You take aim, along with Andrew Stein, at the Harvard president, Claudine Gay. You say in the op-ed, quote, "The campus rot is exemplified by the congressional performance of Harvard president Claudine Gay. After leading a culture that put Harvard dead last on the foundation for individual rights and expressions, campus free speech."
We talked about that, how bad that is.
She suddenly champions free speech if it's anti-Semitic hate speech. Mark, you look at these campuses these days, and
what?
They'll eject students for using the wrong pronouns. We've got cases of professors who are being fired, or at least threatened to be fired because they're using the wrong pronouns. That creates safe spaces at Georgetown University for law students to have a place to go cry, but yet if you're a Jewish student, it's like go pound sand.
This can't
And
be
this
right.
is why a lot of people are upset.
I know, just the extremism
over the years.
Right? This just can't be.
I mean, I can see it if you try to treat everything like go pound sand, but specifically doing it towards Jews makes it very much known that it's targeted. It's not. You can't avoid it. You can't just say, "Oh man, you stepped on one of the students' shoes. You're completely suspended, scholarship revoked, everything get on the drain." Oh, you're a Jew that had a Molotov cocktail thrown at you. It happens. It's Friday.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. Well, I'm sure after the Molotov cocktail exploded, and then when the police came to investigate, and they told the guy that was hit by the Molotov cocktail was a Jew, then I'm sure it was okay.
Saying anything that could trigger a student should be something that shouldn't be said on campus. And all of a sudden, these presidents are asked, well, what about genocide for Jews? Oh, well, that's free speech we have to look at.
Exactly.
People did a double take seen around the world. I think no one expected that testimony to be what was in McCarthyism a have you no shame moment, right? A moment in which people realized this doesn't make any sense.
It certainly doesn't make any sense. And again, what students are learning in universities across the country these days, I think is going to be the subject of a big examination in the coming election year. Mark, it's always fascinating to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
I mean, it's just we've said enough, but it's just disgusting at every level. It really is.
No, it just confuses me. This generation, I mean, I'm almost a part of it, but us trying to say, man, we are the most tolerant, peaceful, loving generation that has come out.
The DEI generation, right?
Pretty much. But we're also the one that says Jews need to be exterminated. They don't deserve a country for their own. Anti-Zionist this, anti-Semitism that. It's just, how do you validate this? And I don't get it. I really don't. I don't have an answer for it. I feel like I have an idea, but it's just, I don't know how it can be a hot take to say anti-Semitic attacks and the genocide of Jews is very unpopular. Who would think of this?
It's the thing I'm most curious about is where they're learning this. Where are they getting this information from? That's my, I'm just curious. That's disgusting. I'm shocked. 53%, 40 for the genocide of Jews. What was it? 45% that they're basically tolerant for homosexuals. I mean, someone's got to be teaching them. And they're obviously listening without doing any of their own research. But that was a fucking terrible video. I mean, that's just shocking to me.
Agreed.
All right, thanks, guys.